I want to apologize in advance if you hear noises in the background. They're doing construction outside of my building. I don't have time to wait for them to not do construction, so we're just gonna go for it. If it's in the background, it's just audio texture. Hello Internet, this is once again Olin from What I'm Listening To, tucked in my small CD corner that looks like a lot, but is actually not all of my CDs that I own. I have a problem, what can I say? We are here today to do yet another installment of some of my favorite videos. We are doing another unboxing video. In these videos, I take the time to open up copious amounts of packages that contain CDs that I've purchased on various websites, typically Discogs, eBay, Amazon, etc., and talk about them in depth. And typically, these videos usually take the longest time to make because, well, I have to wait for all of the packages to arrive in the mail before I can even start filming. And depending on where in the world they're coming from, sometimes that can take a while. It's also a very egregious process for me because all I want to do is open up whatever package I get in the mail just so I can look at the thing I bought, listen to the thing I bought, enjoy the thing I bought, and I can't even do that. I have to wait for them all to come in one day so I can film a video for your entertainment. I'm essentially just torturing myself. But today is the day where I can finally open up all the packages that I have been waiting for. I have a lot that I'm going to share with y'all today, a lot of great things, and I'm so very excited to not only open them, but to talk about them. And you've probably noticed I've been very inactive from posting videos on this YouTube channel, so I'm going to take this opportunity to not just make one unboxing video, not even two unboxing videos. We're going to be making 3 unboxing videos. That's right. In all 3 of these boxes, I have packages among packages of things I've purchased over the past 3 months. 3 months I've waited. It's taken so much time and energy and patience to not just dive right in and completely throw all the plans out the window. We have them here and we're gonna finally dig in. So let's waste no time. Let's start the process. Finally, we're gonna start with this box. That's the part 1 box. So we're gonna put these ones off to the side here. Oh, and we're gonna get our trusty tools. We got some scissors, got a box opener to make this whole thing smooth and painless. I'm gonna have this little guy here so I can display the CDs. Boom, right in the corner. All right, here we go. And we are gonna start things off with this package here. This one looks pretty easy to open, so I guess we'll just flat out just do that. Don't think there's anything important in here. Nope, nothing. CD, throw that over there. Okay, so the first CD I have for you today, this is Relative Ashes, Our Time With You. This is a random band I honestly don't remember how I discovered, but when I had heard about them, they were compared to sounding like the Deftones' very first album, Adrenaline. A very different sounding album compared to the later works the Deftones have made and are mostly known for. That first album and this one as well stray into that side of nu metal where they sort of incorporate elements of hip-hop, which some people don't really love, and honestly, if it's not done well, it sounds like garbage, but this one, I think, sounds very good. And unlike that Deftones album, this one doesn't sound nearly as raw and DIY. This one has a little bit of studio polish to it, but it's still very angry, it's still very heavy, but there's some melody to it, which I also very much like. And yeah, ever since I discovered it, I wanted to own a copy of it. Funnily enough, this is the band's only album. They only did this one, and I don't even know if they're together, what's going on with them, if they're even touring. Just seems like a weird anomaly in nu metal. They were one and done, and no one knows where they are now. This is a very cool album. I'm very happy to own it. Looks like this might need a new jewel case because this one has seen better days. That can be easily fixed. Okay, next up, what else do we have? Let's do this one here. I actually know what this one is, so this one should be cool. Like that. Okay, cool. So next up we have a Joy Division compilation. This is their infamous comp, Substance. I don't really need to talk too much about Joy Division because, well, they're legends at this point. I'm a little late to the game with their music. I have Unknown Pleasures and I do enjoy that, but I really didn't dive too deep into their other works, nor did I really know about the band's history, apart from the fact that Ian Curtis ended his life prematurely and the remaining members went on to form New Order. That was until I just watched some random video talking about the band's history and who Ian was, etc., etc. And I was exposed to the song Transmission, which I immediately fell in love with. It's a fantastic song. It got stuck in my head for days on end, and I ended up listening to it multiple times of the day just to sort of quench that thirst for it. So from there, I decided to pick this one up. This has that song along with a bunch of other classics. It's got Love Will Tear Us Apart, She's Lost Control. It's even got some early recordings from when the band was known as Warsaw. Plus, this is also the 2010 remaster, which I don't know how that will sound compared to the original release. I imagine it'll sound great. Either way, I'm very, very excited to listen to Transmission again and the rest of the stuff on this comp, but mostly Transmission because I love that song. Okay, next up, let's do this one. Got another Amazon package. Do I even need scissors for this? Here, let's try this. Nope. They make it so easy, except this bit. There we go. Get rid of that. Next up, we have another 80s thing. We have Kim Wilde's first self-titled album, Kim Wilde. Now, I have definitely talked about how much I enjoy one-hit wonder bands and how fascinating I find them. They typically had a career spanning multiple albums, and yet for some reason only one song in their entire career got recognized. So anytime I come across a one-hit wonder band, I will take it upon myself to actually listen to some of their other works, because in my mind I feel like, well, they have one good song, they probably have at least one other good song, maybe multiple good songs. And in this case, Kim Wilde is mostly known for her song Kids in America, which became such an 80s staple. It's also been covered by tons and tons of artists in the later years. But I genuinely think it's a fantastic song, and of all the versions I've heard, Kim Wilde's, the original, is definitely the best. On an even weirder note, I'm in a one-off cover band with some coworkers, and we are covering Kids in America. So I just figured, I like one-hit wonder bands, I like that song, I'm covering that song, why not just buy the album? So this one will be a very exciting album to listen to, and even if I don't really like all the other songs, I at least have Kids in America on CD. Okay, next up we'll do this package here, which actually might require me to use the old knife here. So far this is the most securely packaged package. Oh, that's an address, I can't show that. Let's, here, let's put that down there. Let's crumble that up. If you didn't see nothing, put that down there. Go down there. Okay, we have a twofer. Next up, I have 2 CDs by the artist Jessy Lanza. How am I gonna do this? I can't can I do it both of them? No. Close enough. I absolutely love Jessy Lanza, and I'm especially a big fan of her very first album. She has this sort of interesting style where it's like 80s Madonna-esque pop, but much more laid back. It's the kind of music that you can put on at like a cafe or some kind of restaurant, and it's pretty innocent, but it's also very catchy and very cool. And earlier this year, she actually dropped a new album, which I also very much enjoy. But it made me realize I don't have these two albums. These are the middle albums between that first album and that new album. Plus, I'm actually seeing her live this Friday as of this recording, so I'm very excited about that. So I used all that to take the opportunity to pick up these albums. Again, mostly because I didn't own them. I've listened to them both on numerous occasions, and I think between the two of them, I really like this one. This one is called Oh No. Very, very similar to the first album, but this one also is very good. This one is called All the Time. Solid releases from a solid artist. I'm very happy to now own all her stuff and looking forward to seeing her live. Okay, next up, we're gonna do this package, which I think has the coolest tape. It's sort of a giveaway as to what's inside. Also, don't think I need the scissors or the knife for it. Just rip it up, slide them out. Nothing else inside. We have yet another twofer here. These are two albums by the artist George Clanton. George Clanton is this awesome electronica artist that has kind of helped make the vaporwave genre as big as it is. He also has a ton of other aliases doing very similar sounding music, but this project right here, George Clanton, is his main one. And he's also the founder of the label 100% Electronica that puts out equally phenomenal releases. Seriously, everything there is totally worth listening to. So if you love vaporwave and you love electronica, you should definitely check them out. These two CDs are actually his first album and his most recent album, respectively. The first album here is just aptly titled 100% Electronica. It's mostly just vaporwavy pop songs that are done oh so well. And then this one has a funny title. It's called Ooh Rap Yeah, is the latest album he put out. Unlike the first album, which is very sort of 80s style, this one kind of has a 90s feel to it. There's something about the production and the beats that he uses that reminds me so much of 90s R&B that I used to listen to when I was a kid. But whichever era you gravitate towards, both of these albums are excellent. I'm excited to now finally own something of his because I didn't for the longest time. And believe me, it was very difficult to pick which one I should get because there is a lot of gold that's available on the 100% Electronica label. So I'll start with these. We'll see if down the line if I end up picking up more by either George Clanton or one of his other many aliases. These should do for now. Very, very good albums. If you haven't listened to any of his stuff, definitely check him out. He's very good. Okay, next package here. This is a thick boy, and I don't know why it is so thick because it's only one CD, as far as I know. Surely it's not. Yeah, it's only one CD, but they really wanted to protect it. I don't know if you can see that from here, but there's like all this cardboard being used as padding. We'll see. So we have one piece of cardboard, three pieces of cardboard, and another 3 or 6 pieces of cardboard to protect this one CD. But I guess I shouldn't be complaining. It got here in one piece and it looks like it's in great condition. Okay, the next CD I have here, this one is so wild and so hilarious that I have it. This is a Shiny Toy Guns CD single for their song, You Are the One. Now, I need to admit to you guys, I love this band. I love them so much. They were one of the many sort of, I guess you could call them synth pop, modern new wave bands of the mid 2000s. But compared to some of the other bands in that era, I feel like the Shiny Toy Guns didn't really get as much attention. They had two really big songs back then. You Are the One was one of them, and La Disco was the other one. But this is a CD single, as I said, and I mostly bought it because there are two songs on here that did not appear on any of their three albums. So You Are the One is the first track. That's the first song off the first album. And the second song on here is a song called Weather Girl, which is actually the very first Shiny Toy Gun song I'd ever heard. And then the last track is a song called I Promise You Walls, which is another B-side from the first album sessions. Similar to the one-hit wonder bands, I've been kind of interested in CD singles, especially that have songs that didn't appear on the albums. I know that was a way to get people to buy these singles because it was just extra content that you couldn't get anywhere else. And years later, here we are. I'm buying this CD single specifically for the song Weather Girl because it was my first Shiny Toy Gun song. It might be my favorite Shiny Toy Gun song, and the only way to get it on CD is through this single. So this is a very unique thing to be adding to my collection, but nonetheless, I'm very excited to own this and look deeply into the packaging and see what sort of crazy 2000s pictures of the band are in the booklet here. Next up, we're gonna do this little guy here, which again, I don't know if I'm gonna need scissors for. I think I can just rip it open. Yeah, and oh, I'm gonna need it just to break the seal. There it is. Okay, the next CD I have for you today, this is a band called Emeralds, and this is their album Solar Bridge. The Emeralds were this amazing electronica, drone, ambient, experimental band that is sadly not making music today, but all the albums they've put out are very good. And it seems like lately their albums have been slowly getting reissued, featuring bonus content and remastered audio, all that fun stuff. I already own a bunch of their albums, but this is one I actually did not own. It's kind of a weird one because it's only 2 tracks. They're 2 long ambient tracks, but the entire thing is such a journey. There's sort of this distorted 80s aesthetic, but it's also very warm and somewhat cozy, even though things can be a little abrasive at times. It's the same kind of stuff that Oneohtrix Point Never was doing in the Replica or Returnal era, or even the Chuck Pearson's phase. I am a little bummed that the vinyl reissue that came out not too long ago has a bonus track on here that the CD doesn't have, and unfortunately the CD did not get the reissue, it was just the vinyl. Regardless, the 2 tracks that are on here are very good. Okay, we are down to the last package for this part. It's in this black bubbler here, and there it is. Need to slightly break the seal, not damaging the CD itself. They don't make this easy. There we go. Okay, so the last CD we have for you today, this is Keith Jarrett's album, Hymns Spheres. Keith Jarrett is a legend in the jazz world, and he has tons and tons and tons of albums that he's put out over the years. To me, he seemed like one of those guys that was daunting to check out because I wouldn't even know where to start if I wanted to listen to his music. But one day at work, I had one of my coworkers talk to me about this album, and I really liked the cover when I saw it, but he was saying it was one of his least favorites for some reason. He described it as improvised music for the organ, which to me sounded really cool. So naturally, I checked it out and I just instantly fell in love with it. But the funny thing about the CD copy that was at work, it was only a handful of songs that are off this album. This in total has 2 discs worth of music, and it looks like there's 10 or 11 songs in total. And the CD that I had seen at work only had like 5 of them. So being the obsessor that I am and wanting all of the content, I ended up buying this one. And I'm very, very excited to now own it and hear the full thing in its entirety. I'm considering this my gateway into Keith Jarrett's music. I don't know where it's going to take me, if I'm going to explore other albums of his, or maybe this is the only album I'll ever listen to by him. I don't know, but either way, this is a fantastic release and I'm very happy to own it. Okay, Internet, that concludes part 1 of my unboxing trilogy. Thank you so very much for joining me here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you liked what you saw here. I'll try my best to put out more content on this YouTube channel if I can find the time to do it. I also have an Instagram at Wilt Music where I post CDs on there and talk a little bit about them, and it lets you all know what I have in my collection. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I will see you in the next part very, very soon. Goodbye.